Nobody's Business, a podcast for all those subjects we've been trained to avoid. Here's your respectfully irreverent host, Keith Shelton.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Keith Shelton here. I'm the ramrod of this outfit. So glad y'all decided to join us, all you nobodies. I like that one. Were you? My cohort in crime is not going to be with us tonight. JT's his presence is demanded elsewhere, and so he's having to beg forgiveness tonight. And standing in, who's usually in the background most of the time, but is going to serve as both producer and co-host tonight, is the one and only beautiful, demure, intelligent, brilliant, as a matter of fact, my bride. There she is.
I had to get on here. You were scaring me. You were scaring me a little bit with that. I didn't know where you were going.
My goodness. Well, y'all look.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to fill in for JT, although JT is in the background a good bit, so if I disappear, don't be mad.
Okay.
I'm working behind the scenes.
Okay. Well, look, those of you nobodies who've been following us since we started, we try to bring you topics of interest, people of interest, discuss all sorts of things. I mean, this is a general interest podcast. But one thing we haven't one subject we have not covered yet, and that's a show about physical fitness, a show about overall general health, physical health, physical well-being. And I just had a brainstorm, and I thought, you know what would be great? Let's bring on someone who, and I'm going to tell you, people. But when we get our guest on, we can talk a little bit of background. But I had no idea. I had no idea what our subject matter entailed. But we're gonna expose you to it. We're going to introduce you to it, and I can tell you, I'm living proof of its benefits. I promise you. I'm 68 years old, and I feel so much better now than I did a year and a half ago or whatever it is, however long it was when I started. And it's definitely been beneficial to me. And so without delaying any further, our special guest tonight is Mario De La Rosa. There he is.
Hey,
Mario.
Hey, how's it going? Bunch of nobodies out there.
Yeah, we're all nobodies. That's a whole bunch of nobodies makes a difference.
That's right. Mario, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Folks, what you don't know about Mario is a certified stretch therapist. Now that we've introduced him, Mario's on the screen. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Me and my four brothers, we all grew up athletes. We were ball players. Physical fitness. We grew up in the country. So being physical, being gregarious, being just full of, that P word and vinegar. That was us growing up. And, physical fitness is not something we had to think about. Physical conditioning is not something we had to be overly worried about or pay attention to. It just came with the territory. Number one, growing up in the country, out in the summertime, out the door at 8 o'clock in the morning, we might not even see home till 8 o'clock that night when the sun started going down. Always doing something. And I like to tell people, we had two speeds growing up, wide open and sound asleep. So physicality to us was not something that we had to think about. But here I am, 68 years old, and oh my gosh, I spend so much of my time in front of a computer with what I do as an occupation. So inclined to have a sedentary lifestyle. And Sonara and I started talking about it one day, and she read something somewhere and said, I'm going to sign you up for a stretch therapy session. And I said, okay, I have no idea I mean, when we're young, we did a lot of flexibility, had to, our coaches led it. But yeah, that's about what our coaches look like, most of them. And you can just imagine them leading you in something, having to do with physicality. But yeah, Sonar signed me up, and I tell you, it's made all the difference in the world. So, Mario, you are a former athlete. Tell us about yourself. We're not going to jump into stretch therapy right away, but you tell our listeners and viewers about yourself. You have a physical background, but did it relate to stretch therapy? Go ahead.
I do have a background in athletics. I played, and I've grown up, I played every sport, but the main sport, Keith, is baseball. I grew up playing baseball, and one of the biggest assets of me playing baseball was, as a kid, was how fast I threw that baseball. At little league age, Keith, I was throwing the baseball pretty fast, right? Pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, when we're younger, flexibility, like you said earlier, flexibility, we have all the flexibility that we need when we're young, right? But one thing about me is,
hey, Mario, we can laugh about it now. I mean, we have no idea how much we took that for granted. So go ahead.
Yeah. So my background is in baseball, and I grew up as a pitcher. I grew up playing baseball here. I'm local. Grew up in Lubbock. First of all, I played baseball for Coronado High School. I played for Coach John Dudley during his last couple of years there at Coronado High School. I was all district pitcher my senior year. That was a great experience. I was a different pitcher than most pitchers. I threw 3/4 for the most part. I was a 3/4 pitcher. Had a lot of movement. On that fastball. But growing up, stretching, in my opinion, Keith, was always something I took serious, and I learned this from my uncle, who was airborne, coming out the military. And every time he come from Fort Bragg to come visit me, I'd always wonder what he was doing back there in the backyard. I hear a man out there moaning and grunting and jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks and push-ups. And before he did that every day, he stretched. And I kind of just fed off of that, because I knew that if I was going to be a warrior-like, I had to do warrior-like activities, and stretching was a big deal. I learned from my uncle, who, and I'll leave it at this. He said, if you ever plan on being a great pitcher or anything in sports or anything, you got to take care of your body, your temple, and being flexible. And he was like this. He said, Mario, when you come into pitch, you never know when you're going to come into pitch. So you don't want to be stiff, because you're going to wind up hurting yourself. So I grew up in the bullpen in my college careers. I was a closer, and in college, I learned more flexibility, movements. I learned how to stretch appropriately, and not just having my buddies tug on me thinking they're knowing. I took stretching serious more than most people there in the bullpen. There would be times I would be sitting in the bullpen and I'd just start stretching for no reason, and people would laugh at me. Well, y'all know why you're stretching, Mario. They're not going to call you to go into pitch.
Yeah,
things like that. But
you looked like you were ready, though.
I looked like I was ready.
And that's part of the game right there.
And every time they called me in to pitch to close the game, I 9 times out of 10 I won that baseball game. That jump start from high school, I went and wound up playing Division II baseball. I took my team to help take the team to a Division II championship. I wear my ring. I don't know if you could see that.
Look at that. Look at that. I love it.
See that.
I love it, dude.
See that.
And, and that was my goal. If I wasn't going to make it to the big leagues, I never thought I would. My goal was to at least help a team win a championship. And every team, and I don't mean to toot the horn, but every team that I played on as from a kid growing up, I've helped them win a championship.
That's awesome. Tell everybody who your Division II school was.
So I was playing out in the small town of Greenville, Tennessee. In Greenville, Tennessee, they have a D2 school called Tusculum College. Tusculum College is in the Greenville area, right in the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh man, yeah.
Yes.
And that's a school that's still they more years than not, they're in the Division II college baseball playoffs.
Yeah. It was a solid school. We had an investor there at the school who spent tons of money just to develop our athletic program. And believe it or not, when I went to that school, stretching was definitely implemented into our program.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a lot of great advice from a lot of trainers. I hung out in the training room quite often, so I always had to take care of my shoulder, stretching, ice therapy, cold therapy, things like that.
All right. Well, Mario, when I was younger, I mean, like I said, me and my four brothers, we all played basketball. So all our stretching that we did, and yeah, we took it serious too.
Yeah.
But again, it came natural to us.
Right.
We had no problem thinking about stretching, but it was always, for the sport. And then when you watch the football players, some of it was common, but there were some things that you would watch them, they would do different from us because they were football players. And then, like you, when it came to watch the baseball teams, when they worked out, their stretching was a little, some of it was common. Some of it's common for everything, but then they had certain things they would do that we would have never thought to do. But again, my point is it was something that was natural. If you had any athletic inclination at all, you stretched before you practiced, before you played, before you worked out, before you went in the weight room, you stretched. So yeah, we took stretching seriously. But here's what I'm finding out. Stretching in those days, it's like I said, Lenore, put that picture back up there. A lot of times it was football coaches.
I got one for y'all. I got one right here. I got one. Let's see if I can get it to show.
Oh my God.
Watch this right here. He's not really.
Oh goodness. Well, no, I was talking about the one you showed before that, the football coach. I mean, there you go.
Here we go.
There you go.
There you go. Well, Mario, what I'm saying is there wasn't that much of a science to it. It seemed like it was the natural thing to do. It's a case of, how does the muscle work? Well, you stretch against the muscle to make sure it has enough elasticity that you don't sprain an ankle or pull a muscle or tear a tendon or something like that. So it all made sense, and it was generally geared for what you were doing athletically, and it was all made sense. But Mario, what I found out when I hooked up with you, dude, this stuff's a science.
It is.
Yeah, because when I try to help Keith stretch, and you can appreciate this now, he gets vocal, like he doesn't try to suck it up or anything, he lets it all out. And so I would think I was either hurting him or I would be mad at him about something else, and so I would be trying to hurt him, sometimes. So it's best for someone professional to take this on instead of me.
All right. Well, Mario, here's the thing. Young people, if they're doing any physical activities at all, it comes naturally. Every coach is going to have some rudimentary instructions about it. But to me, where the science has to come in is after we become adults. Because I know what as a matter of fact, I had a workout this morning, a session, and I told you that when I was younger, I could sit flat on the floor, my legs straight out, and I could put both of my ears inside my knees with my legs straight on the floor. That's how much I used to could do. Now, goodness gracious. But Mario, the point I'm making is now it's absolutely vitally important that I do stretching. That's the point I'm making.
Keith, how
Mhm.
close are you to getting those ears between your knees now? How close did you get, honey?
He's getting there.
Sweetie, I'm not even in the same hemisphere. Let's put it that way.
Is he like,
You seen that last video you put up there?
Yeah.
He's getting close to that.
is he? Yeah, the one where the guy, the fake leg stuck up there.
Well, Mario, let's move to more modern times for grown-ups now. Not high school, not college, not elementary school, not junior high. Talk about the modern science of stretch therapy. Tell us about what's going on in that arena nowadays.
So there's all types of stretching. People can do all types of stretching. What separates us from any kind of other stretching out there is of course the sequence that we do it, right? StretchMed, the sequence behind StretchMed is, the people that developed this program have over 40 years stretching numerous demographics all across the board from different age groups, right? So the stretching comes as two types of stretching, right? You got two types of stretching that we'll focus on that really isolates the muscle and gets the muscle engaged. Static stretching, for the most part, is one of our major common stretches we do. A static stretch is more of a hold. You hold it for a few. We hold ours for around 20-25 seconds, right? So static stretching is a big deal because it holds that stretch in place. So the second part of that stretch is what they call PNF. PNF stands for power perceptive neuromuscular facilitation. So what that is when you engage that muscle, your brain is sending signals to that muscle group, allowing more blood flow through that muscle, which in return, and you've seen this, Keith, you've seen this in the front line here, where we go through one stretch, we hold it for a couple of seconds, we'll come back, relax, we'll come back in that second stretch, and your range of motion has already increased.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's that PNF.
And that's because of blood flow.
It's the power perceptive part of it.
Well, and Mario, you use big words, but for us common people, I would call it stretch the muscle and then make the muscle resist. In other words, push against the stretch.
Correct.
To conclude the exercise. And to me, that was not something I'd ever been taught. And the whole program to me is just phenomenal. All right, let's talk about the benefits. Let's stick to old people. I don't mean old people like as in they're in a wheelchair. I'm talking about people like me who are older, but we're still physically capable. We're still active. We're still mobile. I mean, here's what I can tell you, and I want you to go through, the things that that you can add to what I'm going to say. I feel better. It hurts like the dickens. The method you use, it's I remember you said, tell me out of your pain threshold, tell me when I've hit 70%. Okay. So when I do, I say, all right. And that's when you go from stretching it to holding it. Okay. I mean, it's still pain. I mean, it's still, you're feeling it. Okay. But when I get through with the whole workout, all those, what do you call it? Endorphins, the adrenaline, blood flow. I mean, it's like, when it's all said and done, I'm ready to run out of your office. I mean, I feel like I can run to my truck to go to work. That has to have value to an older person like me, because I remember the day Sonora first signed me up, and for months and months and months, I know how bad I felt. And now, after how long have I been with you, Mario?
Going on a year.
Going on a year. Okay. Now I know how much better I feel. Well, that alone has value. That right there alone has value. I'm more mobile. I don't have a tendency to lose my balance like I used to. Coordination has come back. That's an old person. So for old people, go ahead and talk about what you do and how it benefits them. And when I say old, like I said, we're not talking about wheelchair people, but somebody that's older like me, and we have succumbed to a more sedentary lifestyle. We like sitting in our recliner.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, there's three things. Oh, I said six. Huh? There's three things.
Yeah, three things. Hey, you're a great stretch therapist, but you didn't do well in math.
There's three things that we like to focus on, right? And right across the board, the first thing that we talk about when you come to StretchMed is we eliminate chronic pain. You know, that's one of the first things we try to focus on is help you eliminate chronic pain. The second thing we focus on is increase your mobility, help you move your muscles and joints the way they're designed to move. That's our second thing. Our last thing and our third thing that we focus on is to help you feel more energetic and feel less tense, right? So we help you eliminate chronic pain, increase mobility, and help you rejuvenate. For the most part,
I don't think a lot of people, a lot of people feel alone in the fact that they have chronic pain as an older person. And we do come to just think, okay, well, I'm old now. This is what I have to live with.
Yeah, I need to get used to this.
More people are in pain than you realize if you sit down and talk to people. People have got issues, with pain. And a lot of it is just from being sedentary, I think, and not moving. You just don't move as much. You get old, you get this old, you start figuring out how to sit down and not have to work so hard. And that kind of works against us in the long run, because we're not running as fast as we used to. We're not having to do the things we used to have to do. So, what kinds of chronic pain would you say you see a lot, Mario?
We see a lot of knee pain and a lot of back pain.
Yeah.
And for the most part, your back pain is usually triggered from having tight hamstrings and tight calves. And it's just
really,
it's usually just compensation from our other muscles where they're overactive and underactive. But from my perspective and things like that, just from what I've studied and stuff, is we're always in a flex position. We're always in a flex position. We're always tensed. We're always from driving, from being at a desk. Our back net, which is the big muscle in our back, which is almost 80% of our body, that back muscle is so tense and it carries it carries stress.
Mm-hmm.
It carries our whole spinal column is all attached back there, right? So we spend most of our time stressed, like stop,
I have to tell myself to put my shoulders down sometimes.
Right?
They get higher and higher,
So when we stretch the opposite direction from where we're normally used to, it feels like it hurts, right? You'll feel that stretch. You feel that when we come to a stopping point, it's only because we're, like we talked about earlier, when you're taking that stretch to a certain position, holding it, letting it loose. Our body's not used to that, right? It feels awkward. Our body's saying like, "Wow, that's something in our mind's telling us that doesn't feel right." So as we get older, as we age, our body is so used to that tightness that stretching has to be an everyday regimen for most people as we get older.
One of our listeners wants to know if you've had any success stories with helping people get off pain medication that they were having to take for knee or back or things like that.
So I don't have a story like that, but I will tell you that I did have a client that would always get migraines before she went to bed. and she could have a hard time sleeping. After her first session, her migraines went away. She also mentioned that she would also get cramps in her calves and her legs before she went to bed at night. After her first session, she came back to her second session. She's like, you know what, Mario? I didn't have those cramps in my legs last night.
Wow.
The
And
first
that's,
time in a long time.
and you would think stretching and doing all that, you might have, fatigued those muscles and you might have those cramps, but she didn't have them at all. So that's whatever you're doing was helping. And what about the migraine? Did that help the migraines?
So it did help with her migraines. That helped decrease her migraines, and she wasn't getting those migraines as common as she used to. So to me, I feel like, stretching is always going to relieve stress, tension, things like that, increase your energy. And I honestly think that her whole body was at ease that night, and it was just felt great.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should experience this. If you don't go through a program, at least come experience it. Stretching does have really great benefits. And I'll finish on this last story about helping people. I did have a client who was diagnosed with what they call stiff man syndrome, something similar to that, where basically your whole body shuts down and you're stiff as a board. Client came in and he had a walker and couldn't really move. His neck, when we stretched, went this way and a little bit this way. Went for about 6 months on a weekly regimen, and his mobility, his range of motion in his neck, he's almost done using that walker, and he's getting back to that mobility. Not at 100%, but I have seen him walk faster, have more confidence, have more energy, and is still pushing to do better. So
Wow, that's
really
awesome.
great stories.
I wanted to ask you this too. I haven't come to Stretch Man. I need to, but I haven't. In between, because and this may be getting Keith in trouble, but in between your sessions, is there something that you tell your clients to do that they're supposed to that would help, with this during the week, or do they just wait to get there? What do they do?
No, I always encourage to do some homework on your own. I always encourage you to do stretching on your own.
Yeah.
Just try. And I know it's not something that we're going to just get up and do first thing in the morning, but I always encourage my clients to try. You got to at least try, because if you try, you won't have to come see me as much. But
trying to put yourself out of business, aren't you?
but I always encourage them to try, and just try, because it does help the process, and you do see better benefits if you are putting it on a daily regimen or a daily routine. I always ask my clients to do their homework. So yeah, Keith, you've been doing your homework?
I don't even ask me that question. You said thing up there in the upper left said live. We're still live, going out to the public. Don't ask me that question. All right, but here's what I am going to say, and we'll get off of old people here shortly, because old people is not all of who you help, but I can testify more energy. My posture, I stand up straighter again like I used to. I do have more energy. Sonar can tell you that. I mean, a lot of times I hop up out of my recliner, and
we all have to applaud.
They don't have to, but every now and then I do say, "Hey, y'all see how fast I hopped up out of my chair?" Hey, 68 years old. I'm proud of what I got out of my stretch program. Okay. So yeah, it's like you say, mobility. I have a much better sense of balance now. I'm not so fearful of, because the worst thing that happens to old people is they fall and break something. Okay. Mario, that's one of the main things you've helped me with, is the fact that I feel more stable, more balanced. I don't have, if I get up out of a chair, I don't, for that split second, my head's not spinning. All of this are things that I don't have anymore, that you know, are measurable from the time I started, in my program with you. So
Well,
I'm a big,
I think it's great. I think that you know that what some people need is a jump start. They need to see that they can do it. First of all, they need to, because motion begets motion. Once they get in motion, they stay in motion more. And I and I think people are afraid to push themselves and stretch. And I think having somebody like Mario to guide them, it is helpful, especially since we're on the subject of old folks.
well, that was a great point. Yeah. People do need a jump start, and you can ask Sonara, Mario, how pitiful I was. I mean, how pitiful I was. I could get in that chair watching football games on a Saturday, and man, I didn't want to get up. And then when I did get up, oh my goodness,
I almost couldn't get up.
I looked 100 years old, and it's just not that way anymore. Now, let me tell you this. I do know that the more I talk about stretching as a therapeutic thing for older people our age, I mean, I've got folks that they may not be using you, but I'm talking about people in their 80s. They've started on a stretching regimen. People in their 70s have started on a stretching regimen. So Mario, word's getting around. Okay. I definitely think it's good for people our age. And I'd say anybody from 50 over, if you're not on some kind of stretching regimen, you need to get on one, and you would be amazed at the benefits. And like I said, the adrenaline, the endorphins, the let's in quotes, the feel good hormones that your body produces with a little bit of exercise. And that's what I said, you stretch. Your method, the one you've learned, is the stretch and then resistance. So you stretch, but you also work some. And I would have never thought of that. But let's get off of old people. Let's talk about young people. You also have young people as clients. What do you do for them?
I have some younger clients under the age of 18 that are in middle school. They come because there's some that are in track. There's some that are in dance class. There's athletics. And believe it or not, there's a lot of younger generational kids who are just tight. I don't know why or how, but
because it's sat in front of a TV too long.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, but I do.
So that wasn't our problem when we were kids. That was not our problem.
It's a different world, though. It's a different world. Yeah.
So if I had to guess, I'd say they spent a lot of years in front of a TV, and the decision that I made recently, they're making in their youth because they don't want to end up like I did.
Yeah.
So good for them, but I'm just throwing that out there as that may have an explanation of why they're so seem to be so tight and tense in their muscles. So go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt your story.
No, you're good. I mean, that makes a good point. What the world that we live in, when we got iPads and smartphones and bigger televisions, nobody's outside playing anymore. Nobody's outside,
It's not even as safe to go outside anymore as it used to be. We ran the neighborhoods, our parents didn't even know where we were. Back then.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, stretching's good for all ages. It's we have some younger ones that come in. The benefits of I train my younger crowd. I train them on the importance of staying healthy and stretching. There was a lot of athletes that I grew up with that didn't make it past high school, and if they did, they didn't last long in college because they had Tommy John. They got Tommy John surgery, or they tore a rotator cuff. A lot of that could have been eliminated had we been educated at a younger age about the importance of stretching, flexibility, pre warm up, things like that. So I do have younger kids coming in and getting stretch and going through the routine. Of course, their routine probably wouldn't be the same as an older person's routine, but everything is customized to your specific needs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we
All right.
noticed with our granddaughter, oldest granddaughter, we have 3 granddaughters actually that are in dance, but the oldest is even been to Chicago. She's a ballerina. And her dad says that he walks in her room and she's got her phone. She's standing on her phone, but her leg is next to her ear up on the wall while she's talking on the phone. Because if she does not stay flexible like that, injuries, I mean, they have to do it. They have to do it to be at that level. And anybody that's trying to compete, I'm sure in any sport, you know, is going to benefit from stretching, and not just the little 10-second warm up before you go run. You know, that's a daily thing that she does. It's something that it's a part of her lifestyle, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll leave it. Yeah. And I'll leave it at this too. You know, stretching it's for everybody. You know, it's even if you're not an athlete, you know, and you're trying to have a better edge on life. You want to take that extra control of your well-being. Stretch, you know, you want to have that awesome day at work, tired of being stressed out, tired of having low energy. Come in and get in a stretch session. Feel the benefits of increased energy. Build up your confidence. You know, those are things that this program helps out with too as well.
You can go to the stretch therapy, or you can go to the chiropractor, whichever one you want, because that's what Keith was doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Keith was doing before this. He didn't go to Stretch Med. He went to the chiropractor constantly because he had neck pain and, you know, all
Neck
this
pain, back
stiffness.
pain.
Mhm. Not to say he won't ever have to go again. Not saying that. Not saying anything against chiropractors. I think they do good work, but preventative is always better, isn't it? Isn't it? You know.
Of course. I'm a firm believer my belief is if you're stretching and trying to implement that, you won't have to see or go to those type of places as long as you're doing your homework and trying to make a difference in your well-being. So
Oh my gosh.
believe that too. Let's run it. Let's run our ad, Keith. You want to run our ad? We got an ad.
Let's run our ad, sweetie.
All right, now here we go.
Well, there you go, buddy.
oh, thank you for that.
Mario, I have no trouble promoting something I believe in. I am living proof of the benefits I get. And I won't say I've taken you to raise for sure, but I really do have a bond with you.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate seeing you when I see you. And I know, you know, stretching a big old burly fellow like me is not something that's easy. You work. People may not realize that, but you physically work too, helping me to do the stretches I need to do. And, you know, people need to understand that you know, you earn your keep, and boy, I just can't say enough good things about it. So we're more than proud to promote what you do. But here's before we run out of time, here's where I want to go with tonight. Okay. Old people, middle-aged, young people, and I'm going to pick on something about old people here in a little bit, but here's where I want to go right now. Old people, middle-aged, young people, what qualifies you to do what you do? Tell us what it takes to become a certified stretch therapist.
Now, what should somebody look for if they're looking to have somebody help them with this issue?
Yeah, don't call up your old football coach. He's probably not up to date in what the anatomy and physiology, and you know he learned. Yeah, he probably learned in back when stretching was something you did,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean you were trained in it. So,
What do people look for?
So in order to be, I didn't mean to cut you off. So in order to be considered a stretch therapist here at StretchMed, you have to have a degree or a certificate or experience in exercise science or a field that's related to that. So you could be a personal trainer. You could be someone in the medical field, someone that's maybe a massage therapist, someone that knows the background of the anatomy of the body. And then, of course, with that certificate, you go through 100 hours of training through StretchMed using StretchMed protocols, and they won't allow you to go out there until you've satisfied the StretchMed protocol. So the StretchMed 36 stretch routine is second to none in the industry. Those guys that engineered this protocol, it's hands down the best in the industry. But if you're going to be on a StretchMed team, you have to have the background. I have a background in kinesiology. You can have a personal trainer certificate, massage therapist. You could be a nurse, someone that has that ideal understanding of the anatomy. And of course, you go through another training of the anatomy.
So you go through a program with StretchMed to be certified to work for StretchMed as well. Yeah,
you do. You have to. Yeah, that's one of our protocols. So, and of course, you got to have a passion for health and fitness and enjoy working with people.
Yeah, and not killing the people that come.
There
in.
you go. There you go.
You got to actually like people. Okay, that's I can't do it.
I'm out.
Out.
I'm done.
okay, 100 hours. People need to realize that's not a online course.
No.
Right. Well,
So
somebody
what-
tell us this. Somebody that's coming in, say people are nervous about doing new things. People are nervous about, what would this look like? How would I? What would this be like if I went in? Somebody who is, give us just kind of a rundown from somebody books an appointment. What happens? What happens when a new person comes in?
Absolutely. So the first thing you can experience, we try to get everybody through what's called our intro, stretch, and assessment. That intro, stretch, and assessment is going to give us a good understanding if we're a good fit for each other, if we're a good team for each other. It's going to give you an idea to see if the stretching is something that you'd like to continue. We have about 36 stretches on your first appointment. We don't go through all 36 stretches. We only go through about a dozen of those to see how your body reacts, to see how you react, to see if it's a good fit for you and I. And once we complete that introduction and assessment, we'll sit down at the table and we'll create you a program to help you focus more towards your goals and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, whether it be flexibility, whether it be improve your posture, or just increase your energy. And then if we're not a great fit for each other, so be it. At least you had a great experience, and we'll be, we'll go from there. But for the most part, everybody seems to have a great experience when they come in there.
So it's not like it's going to be you're going to throw them up on a treadmill and say, let's see how far you can go, buddy. And, get the whip out after them or anything like that. It's all something that people can easily do.
Yeah, we definitely work it up in there in increments of a couple of stretches at a time before we take you through a program. We're doing more stretches. So
that was the
we'll
program I was looking for.
To see how you like it, and that's where we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
We'll keep it simple.
That's good.
And what were you saying, Sonora? I didn't mean to interrupt.
That was the program I was looking for Keith, where they were going to put him up on the treadmill and get a whip, out, and one of those electric cattle prods, and keep him going. Yeah, that was what I was looking for. So
yeah,
he got lucky. He got lucky.
He got lucky. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the social aspects. Mario, are you old enough to remember the fitness videos of the 80s and 90s? You remember those? Were you old enough to remember those?
all I can think about was a curly hair guy with the jumpsuit.
Oh no,
Oh,
Richard Simmons. Is that what you're talking
Yes.
about?
okay, that's it.
bless it. That's not it. That's not it.
That's the time period. Yeah, but
My
you
mind
know,
goes.
you had several. I mean, people were made into like celebrity stars because of their their workout videos. Golly, what's I can't think of one, but anyway, they had to buy the shoes. They had to have the fluffy socks. They had to have the leotards. They had to,
Leg warmers.
leg warmers. Had to, have the hairdos and all that. I mean, you people our age know exactly what I'm talking about. To come see you, they don't need all that paraphernalia and junk, do they?
No.
That's true. What do people wear? What do people wear to an appointment? What do you tell them?
Yeah, for sure. You definitely got to know what to wear. So you definitely wear clean socks. I ask that you wear clean socks. But anything that will make you mobile, any jumpsuit, warm ups, jump pants, sweatpants, leggings, shorts, things like that.
Stretchy
Okay.
things.
Yes, stretchy things, something that won't restrict your
Movement.
range of motion, your movement. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I've had a couple of people that didn't know what to wear, right? So they wear jeans. I don't mind you coming in jeans, but it's not going to do anything for you.
It's Texas. You can wear jeans anywhere. And some of those jeans are stretchy.
Yeah, some of them are. You are right. You are correct.
If they're stretchy
I-
jeans.
I can't stand it. No, not me. All right. Well, let's talk about some
Oh,
Mario.
lost Mario.
Mario.
He got kicked.
Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Our guest has left us.
I'm going to have to berate you and talk to you about why you haven't been doing your stretches in between your sessions sometimes.
Well, let's see.
Get
Well,
Mario.
sweetie, you talk about the election while I check on Mario.
Talk about the election. What about just throwing me under the bus?
Well, everybody
Let's talk-
started laughing as soon as I said that, so it was more
No.
humorous than anything else.
Okay. Well, I did have something on here. I wanted to tell everybody that if you haven't voted, that I found out because I did it for the first time, that early voting in Texas is extremely easy. You can go anywhere it says vote here, and you can walk in there and give them your name and show them some kind of government ID. And if you're a registered voter, they have you in their system and they print your ballot according to where your last address was, and
As
you
long
vote
as-
right there.
Yeah, as
And-
long as you're in the county of your residence. Yes.
Right. And so I just assumed that, I had to look it up, find the correct precinct, go there. Oh no, I've moved, what am I going to do? But don't let any of that hold you back. If you haven't voted, be sure and get out there and vote early. Look for a short line. Go to one of the smaller towns. You don't even have to go to your own town. Let's put
Yeah.
Mario back on. We got Mario back. Keith made me talk about the election. while you were gone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My computer died, but I got it plugged back in.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mario, because I just told everybody to go vote. That's
There you go.
and
Yeah,
so-
everybody, make sure you go vote.
go vote.
Go vote. Everybody.
Well,
vote.
Mario, thank you for coming back, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on here. I apologize. I had technical difficulties.
That's okay. It's always something. Don't worry about it. But here's where I wanted to go, and I told you.
Mhm.
We covered old people, young people, middle aged, what the programs entails, what qualifies you, what should people look for as a good physical therapist. But here's something I want to do. Let's talk about people with special needs. I mean, what can stretching help somebody who's got leg issues, got their what about paralysis, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think he told us about the guy that had what was that you called stiff?
I believe it was stiff man syndrome.
Really?
Something stiff
Yeah.
person
I've
syndrome.
never
Yeah.
heard of that before. That is wild. Yeah, that does not sound fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I didn't hear about it to the day that I was introduced to that. So, but yeah, I've had clients come in with scoliosis,
Yeah.
help with scoliosis, things like that.
Are doctors in tune with medical stretching yet, or is this something that they're putting out to their clients or
I actually have a
patients?
couple of, yeah, for sure, absolutely. I actually have a couple of doctors who come and see me, and they're actually thinking about implementing this to their patients.
Yes, I think that would be good.
Yeah.
So the
yeah,
doctors themselves are coming and realizing the benefits, and so
yeah. I have surgeons that come and get their hands stretched.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
Who would have thought of that? Who would have thought surgeons coming to a stretch therapist to, manipulate their fingers and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's for everybody. I've had a conversation with a good friend of mine. His son has issues with autism and things like that. And believe it or not, he goes and gets massages to help relieve with the stress, and it feels good to him. So there's also been a conversation. Well, stretching might be a benefit to that as well too. With someone that might go through a situation like that, come try stretching. It's just another therapeutic way of dealing and coping with things like that. So I haven't personally witnessed anything like that, but I've heard stories that it could be quite beneficial to come.
How many
stretch.
people work out of the Lubbock Stretch Med? Do you have their
We have
therapist?
Yeah, we have three of us.
Mhm.
We have three of us that work out of Stretch Med. There's me, David, and Tansy.
Tansy, yeah.
Tansy, yeah. So we all help each other out when we can't fill in or we can't make it to an appointment, and we hate to reschedule somebody's appointment, so we have others fill in.
So Tansy is a lady?
Yes, Tansy is a lady.
Some ladies would probably feel more comfortable with the lady. And I told whoever I talked to when I called, I said I needed the meanest, baddest one down there to stretch Keith.
Yeah.
So that must be you.
Yeah.
Either that or they ignored me. Because I was like, I don't want him getting away with anything. I know how he is. So
I was the one.
You were the one.
I was the one.
Well, let me say this: we're running up on our time, and we're going to give you the last word, Mario. But here's what I'm going to say: I'm a firm believer now. The physical benefits, the mental benefits, the emotional benefits of feeling better, not having as much of a tendency to pain in old age, more energy, certainly more flexibility, better balance. I feel more steady on my feet. I mean, the list just goes on and on for me. So that's why when I thought of this, I thought, why have we not done this show before? Why have we not already done this show? We did your advertising, and I would say a few words, but I thought, no, people need to know that this is not PE, is it?
No, it's not.
It's truly therapeutic. It's truly a science. There's way more understanding about the human body, way more understanding of the interconnectivity between hormones, enzymes, proteins, from the muscle, the bone, sinews, cartilage, all of that is so interconnected. And when you're working on something to make that better, it has effects elsewhere. I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm a believer. And what else can I say? Mario, We got just, I love that one.
Just one more time.
I better
Just one more
Mario, we
time.
got just a few minutes, and we're gonna hand the program to you. And this is something we do. You're not special. Whoever we have as our
You
guest,
are special.
nobody.
Nobody's
there you go. You're a special nobody. How about
Special
that?
nobody.
That's right. Well, anyway, here's what I'm going to say. Mario's he's local. Grew up in Lubbock. Proud to be from the area.
You
He's
can see
somebody
that
you
Rickham,
probably.
that Rickham hat, that Texas Tech hat right there.
There you go. There you go. You probably went to school with him or played ball against him. So I'm going to say I don't know the other two. I've never met the other two, but you've been my guy for almost a year now. I'm a big believer. You converted me. So much better. As far as my own personal physicality and feelings and like I've told you many times, Mario, yes, it hurts. I'm a former athlete. I know what it means to feel pain. I know the pain, no pain, no gain. I intentionally overdo it. That's just me. But I tell you, when we're through with our 50-minute session, it's almost like I could run outside to get in my truck. That's how energized I feel, when I get through with you. So we're going to give you the last word, Mario. You're free to tell our listeners and viewers anything you want to tell them about what you do, why you do it, how you do it, anything to do with stretching and stretch therapy.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Keith, for having me on your show, on your podcast. I appreciate that. I take what I do very seriously. I used to suffer from back pain, shoulder pain from just being an athlete, and going through Stretch Med made me a firm believer, just like Keith did. So if you're experiencing anything that we've mentioned, tightness, soreness, lack of range of motion, come see me. I guarantee that you'll like it. And if you don't like it, we'll figure it out. But I stand behind what I do. Keith stands behind it, and I think everybody should come at least try it once. Just try it once, and you can definitely feel the benefits. But when you walk out that door,
I believe it. Snar, you coming back on to say bye?
I'll say bye, and I'll say that I too have noticed that Keith is getting up out of his chair much better. And the fact that he gets up out of his chair instead of getting me to bring him things is an improvement. Y'all, this people that know us, this is a big thing. But because I do wait on him hand and foot. But yes, definitely has helped him, and I think it could help more people that maybe have not even thought about this, or may not have even realized there is such a thing. There is such a thing. They've tried to stretch by themselves. They've, maybe made a little bit of progress, but they didn't do it right. They got sore. They quit. And
Yeah.
I think this is if nothing else, this would be a wonderful jump start for people to just do a few sessions, just do a few of these sessions and get going and see how to do it the right way. And you may be like Keith, you may benefit from it so much that you can take all that time you were going to the chiropractor and put it on going to Stretch Med. So, I think people should give it a try. I really do. And I don't know how I saw this when we moved to Lubbock, but I think I want to say it may have just been a Facebook ad or something like that. And I thought somebody needs to stretch my old man. And so I called. And so let me see, I may have a banner I can put up here, and we probably have in the comments if people want to look, let's see. There you go. www.stretchmedstudios.com. And then if you want get the Lubbock, it's /stretchmed-Lubbock. And I think I may even have put this in the comments before we started. I did. So if you want to go back to the comments, you can click the link there and go to the website and get a phone number. And I think you can actually book online, can't you?
can.
Mario. Yeah, you can book online. So it's very convenient. Even for people who don't like people, that don't want to talk to people, they can just book it online and show up in their
Yep.
stretchy clothes and their stretchy jeans.
Yeah.
Mario.
Don't need brand new leotards and leggings and hairdos and things like that. Just
We accept
okay.
it.
Here's one thing I can say right up there on 34th Street.
Yep.
Very centrally located, so give them a try. And Mario, we want to thank you for coming on tonight. I'm so glad I thought of this. I am so glad that we got you on because in the old days it was hit or miss. Were you even doing it right? I had no idea it had evolved into such a
science.
science. Yeah.
And Keith used to being an athlete and being competitive, and this may ring true for a lot of people, but he wouldn't do it for a long time, and then he would try to make up for it,
Ooh.
and kill himself.
Ooh.
And then you tend to not do it again because you don't want to
It hurts so bad.
Yeah. And so, I think a lot of men are like that, especially, that they want to make up for the 15 times they knew they should have done it and didn't, all in one time.
Yeah.
Do it all at one time. Yeah.
That is not the way to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Mario, thank you so much for giving your time tonight. I hope people understand that it is serious. It's not PE. It's not the halfway doing things that people might have understood or saw in the high school gym. This is serious stuff. It's designed to help you. They're trained, certified, and boy, the benefits of it. I really do appreciate you.
And they like people.
Mario.
They like people.
You're welcome, Keith. You're welcome, Keith.
Bye-bye,
right.
Mario.
Everybody remember to like our podcast and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next Thursday.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.